Hello everyone. Today we are going to read poem 5 from the book Honeydew for grade 8th. The name of our today's poem is The School Boy by William Blake. So, first of all, we are going to know about the poet William Blake. He born on 28 November 1757 in England and he died on 12th of August 1827 in London. So his occupation was he was a poet, painter and print maker. Now let's start the poem. The School Boy. I love to rise in a summer morn. Who is I here? I is the speaker, means school boy. Morn means morning. When the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman winds his horn. Distant means far. Huntsman is a person who hunts. And the skylark sings with me. Skylark is a type of bird. Oh, what sweet company. So, in the first stanza of this piece, William Blake introduces the reader to his main character and speaker. This poem is told from the perspective of a young school-age boy who feels trapped in the monotony of everyday attendance to his studies. He speaks with the conscience of an older man projecting the emotions and beliefs common to the romantic poets, of which Blake was one. So, in this stanza, the young narrator speaks about the things he loves. He loves to rise in a summer morn and hear the birds singing on every tree. Further in the distance, he can hear the horn of the huntsman and the song of the skylark who seems to sing only for him. So these are the types of companies he desires. This is when he is the happiest and sentiment that many he has expressed. Let's move to the second stanza. But go to school in a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Here, the word comes outworn. Outworn means tired. Then, under a cruel eye means under strict discipline of their teachers. Dismay means sadness. So, this stanza presents the exact opposite things that drive all joy away. When the schoolboy is forced to rise on a summer morn and go to school, unable to stay in his peaceful environment, he is unhappiest. He bemoans his and his classmates' fate that they are stuck inside in sighing and dismay. Third stanza is, then at times I drooping sit. Drooping means sit bent due to tiredness. And spend many an anxious hour. Anxious means nervous. Nor in my book can I take delight. Delight means happiness. Nor sit in learning's bar. Worn through with the dreary shores. Dreary means boring. So, in this stanza, the young speaker continues on telling the reader more about his miserable days at school. He sits drooping hunches over in his seat. He takes no pleasure in schoolwork and is anxiously waiting for the end of the day. He can't even take delight in his book or sit in learning's board, as it has been all worn through by rain. So, it is clear from these lines that the child is not averse to learning in general. He appreciates reading and understands the joy that can be gained from encompassing oneself within the board. So, it is only the structure of the school he cannot stand. Let's move to the fourth stanza. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fears annoy but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Here a word comes droop. Droop means bend. Tender means soft. So, in this stanza, there is a comparison between a caged bird and the schoolboy. So, in this stanza, the schoolboy, the speaker, questions his reader, demanding an answer to a theoretical question. He pleads with whoever is listening and asks how a bird that is born for joy, referring to himself or others that think like him, be asked to sit in a cage and sing. He knows that he was made to learn, read, and write, but he cannot do so in school, a place he considers equal to a cage. He now turns to beg to on behalf of other children. He makes the case for all those trapped indoors. He professes to worry for their well-being and the fact that while they are inside, their tender wings drooping, they are forgetting the spring of their youth. These children, just like he is, are missing out on the joys of being a child. O father and mother, if birds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay. So, in this stanza, he speaks about his own childhood joys as being birds that are being nipped. Nipped means cut. Then there is a word comes blossoms means flowers, stripped means deprived of, dismay means shock. So he speaks about his own childhood joys as being birds that are being nipped means cut and blossoms that are blowing away. His happiness is delicate like the tender plants, and he should not have to be subject to sorrow and care's dismay at his young age. He need not feel so happy when he is only a child. So, in this stanza, the speaker turns to address his parents as he sees them like the ones that could possibly change his situation. So, in the sixth stanza, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? So, if all the things stated in the fifth stanza happen, if he is indeed stripped of his joy and given sorrow in return, then how can his parents expect the appearance of fruits in the summer? They should, he states, worry that due to their choices, he will never be the same. He will be unable to stand the blasts of winter when they appear. So this is all about today's poem. Now let's do a quick revision of this poem. In this poem, William Blake makes use of some interesting and important themes. He explores childhood and youth as well as themes of education, nature and freedom in this piece. His main character and speaker, the schoolboy, spends the poem describing the difference between freedom in the natural world and the cruel restrictions of formal education. He believes that he had be better off learning what he needs to know of the world from nature rather than from someone's idea of what's good for him. So the poem brings up questions about the effectiveness of standard education and what the right way to raise a child is. Additionally, William Blake celebrates youth and the youth tied to nature as he commonly does within his poem. So this is all about today's session. Hope you all have understood the poem well. Thank you.